This is Jersey City, New Jersey, a place that just a decade and a half ago was largely defined by decaying warehouses, abandoned factories, and struggling neighborhoods. But today, it looks completely different. In fact, Jersey City has undergone one of the most dramatic housing transformations in the entire country, turning into what many now call America's housing boomtown. And right across the Hudson River, New York City is watching closely. The city's new mayor, Zoran Mamdani, is openly studying Jersey City's playbook as he tries to solve his own city's crippling housing crisis. So how exactly did Jersey City pull this off? What strategies fueled this explosive growth? And why is it now being looked at as a potential model for cities across the country? To understand how Jersey City became the housing success story it is today, we need to go back to what the city looked like before the transformation. In the mid-20th century, Jersey City was a thriving port and manufacturing hub. But by the 1970s and the 1980s, deindustrialization hit hard. Jobs disappeared, the population declined, and massive amounts of land sat completely unused. The city's housing stock was outdated, much of it built before World War II, and rigid zoning laws made it nearly impossible to develop anything new. The vacancy rate hovered around 15% in 2010, which was not a sign of a healthy market, but rather one that was completely stagnant. This all started to change in 2013 when Stephen Fulop became mayor. Fulop saw Jersey City's proximity to Manhattan as an untapped opportunity. Just a quick PATH train ride away from the world's financial capital, the city had all the right ingredients for growth: excellent transit connections, waterfront views, and huge amounts of underutilized land. But to unlock that potential, he needed bold policies. Fulop's administration adopted what he called a deliberate playbook to clear the way for housing development. One of the first moves was aggressive rezoning. The city updated its land use rules to allow for unprecedented density, especially around transit hubs. Take Journal Square, for example. In 2010, the city adopted a redevelopment plan that permitted floor area ratios up to 25 near the PATH station. That is absolutely massive compared to most American cities, where floor area ratios often top out at 5 or 10. Similar rezonings happened around other stations like Grove Street and Exchange Place, creating zones where developers could build tall, mixed-use towers without jumping through endless bureaucratic hoops. By focusing on transit-oriented development, Jersey City encouraged buildings that integrated apartments with retail, offices, and public spaces, reducing reliance on cars and easing traffic congestion. But rezoning alone would not be enough. Fulop also reformed the city's tax abatement system known as pilots, payment in lieu of taxes programs. These were made tiered, less favorable in hot downtown areas, and more generous in underserved neighborhoods like the West Side and Bergen-Lafayette. This pushed development outward, helping to balance growth across the entire city. Developers also had to commit to community benefits, such as funding parks, schools, and infrastructure upgrades. Then, in 2021, Jersey City layered on inclusionary zoning. Any project seeking zoning variances had to set aside 10 to 15% of units as affordable, depending on the neighborhood. By the end of 2024, this policy had yielded about 500 below-market rate units, with many more in the pipeline. The results of these policies? Absolutely staggering. Between 2010 and 2022, Jersey City added nearly 26,000 new housing units, increasing its housing stock by 24%. That is more than triple the per capita rate of the broader New York metro area. In 2024 alone, the city produced 13 new homes per 1,000 residents. Compare that to New York City, which produced 4 per 1,000. Jersey City, with just 300,000 people, built twice as many apartments as all of Queens, which has 2.3 million residents. Under Fulop's watch, developers completed more than 45,000 market-rate and affordable units in the last decade. This housing boom has completely supercharged the local economy. The population surged over 20% from 2010 to 2024, putting Jersey City in the same league as Sunbelt cities like Phoenix and San Antonio. It is now the fastest-growing city in the entire Northeast. Jobs followed the housing. Tech startups, finance firms, and creative industries flocked in, drawn by rents that were significantly cheaper than Manhattan. Office space along the Hudson waterfront averages $44.51 per square foot, which is 42% below New York's rates. Some of the individual projects really tell the story of this transformation. An old Art Deco hospital from the 1930s was converted into a sleek, modern apartment complex. One of Jersey City's oldest churches became a 444-unit rental tower. The Bayfront redevelopment project, which broke ground in 2025, promises 8,000 mixed-income units along the Hackensack River, complete with parks, retail spaces, a school, a fire station, and even a new light rail station. But let's be clear, this transformation hasn't been entirely smooth sailing. On the positive side, the influx of new housing has eased some market pressures. Overall rents actually dipped 9% in the past year, with one-bedroom rents falling 17%. The city has remained diverse, with Asian and Hispanic populations growing. Transit-oriented growth means better access to jobs and reduced air pollution. Yet the downsides are very real. For most of the boom period, housing costs climbed right alongside all the new construction. Median market rate rents jumped 50% between 2015 and 2024. About 60% of households earn below the median income of $94,000, and many are severely cost-burdened. The Black population has declined as gentrification has pushed out long-time residents. Infrastructure is feeling the strain too. Schools are overcrowded, and state aid cuts led to a 50% property tax hike from 2021 to 2023. Looking ahead, the outlook is complicated. Despite the incredible boom, household growth has actually outpaced housing supply by 17% from 2010 to 2022. By 2032, Jersey City could face a shortage of 27,000 to 36,500 units. With about 14,000 units currently in the development pipeline, the gap might shrink, but it still underscores the need for sustained action. This brings us to New York City, where Mayor Zohran Mamdani is taking very detailed notes. Elected on a strongly pro-housing platform, Mamdani has publicly called Jersey City a place of pro-housing dreams. At a news conference last month, he highlighted a key lesson. Government should make the construction of additional housing a top priority and work backwards from that goal. New York faces its own severe housing crisis with sky-high rents and a vacancy rate under 2%. So what exactly could New York copy from Jersey City's playbook? Start with transit-oriented upzoning. Imagine if Manhattan or Brooklyn allowed floor area ratios of 15 or even 25 around major subway stops. This could unleash a massive wave of new apartment construction. Inclusionary zoning could be significantly strengthened, mandating more affordable units in new developments. Rent control reforms might better protect existing tenants while still encouraging new construction. If these policies were actually adopted in New York, they could potentially add thousands of new housing units annually. Jersey City's story definitely is not perfect. It is a stark reminder that rapid growth inevitably brings trade-offs. But in a nation that is absolutely starved for housing, Jersey City stands as proof that bold, decisive leadership combined with smart policy can actually build a dramatically better future. As Stephen Fulop steps down and hands the reins to incoming Mayor James Solomon, the city continues to stand as a crucial test case. The big question now is whether New York, and ultimately cities across America, will actually follow Jersey City's lead. Only time will tell. But one thing has become absolutely clear. When cities genuinely prioritize building homes for people over endless red tape and bureaucratic obstacles, real transformation becomes possible. To help us keep the videos coming your way, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.